YouTube. Today I want to talk about Windows 11. I love to hate Windows 11. I bash it at every opportunity, but the truth is, I don't really have that much experience with it. I've used it some at work because I don't have a choice, but for home use, I've never tried it. So I really don't know what I'm talking about. I bash on Windows 11 just reflexively because I hate Microsoft so much. So today I'd like to give it a test drive. My situation is that in 2018, I began dual booting Windows 10 and Linux on all my household machines. And I found over the years that I boot into Linux more and more often and Windows less and less often. I'm to the point now where I hardly ever start up Windows anymore, Windows 10. And in fact, on my daily driver desktop machine, I don't even have a Windows partition. I just use Linux. But lately I've been getting curious about Windows 11, and I'd like to try it. And I don't really hate Windows. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I've been using Windows in some form since 1984. That's how old I am. I had my first Windows was installed on a 286 desktop machine. You know, how far back is that? So Windows and I have had a long journey together, and then Windows 11 kind of put an end to that journey. Not because of Windows 11 per se, but because of all the unwanted baggage and spyware that comes with it. So TPM and hardware checkup. I don't want that. What hardware I've got is none of Microsoft's business. Either it'll run Windows 11 or it won't. So none ya, Microsoft. Microsoft account. No way. I don't want an online account. I've never had one. I'm not going to have one. Local accounts are fine. Edge browser. I hate it because it's intrusive and it tries to hijack everything I do on my desktop. Bitlocker encryption. Fine, but I want control of it. I'll decide if I want to encrypt my hard drive or not. None of your business, Microsoft. OneDrive, no way. I don't want to migrate my files to the cloud. Recall, you got to be crazy. Copilot, I don't have that much use for AI, and I'll decide which AI I want to use. So that's what I want. I want to try Windows 11, possibly even use Windows 11, but without all the Microsoft crapware and spyware and intrusive behaviors and dark patterns and so on. I want a clean copy of Windows 11 to run my machine, and I want to reassert that the machine is mine. It is my computer. It does not belong to Microsoft. So that's my deal. So this YouTuber, Cyber CPU Tech, has a remedy for my problem. In his video, which I highly recommend, by the way, great video, great channel, so I subscribed. You should too. But anyway, his remedy was to use an auto unattend installer script. And if you create the script yourself, if you create a custom script, it will allow you to block the Microsoft bloatware and spyware. In other words, you can set up a custom install of Windows without all the Microsoft intrusive spyware trash. So I decided to try it. So the website is schneegens.de, Windows Auto Unattend Generator, and it lets you set up a custom script for how you want to install Windows 11, or Windows 10 for that matter. I'm going to use it to install Windows 11. Say I'm going to use English as my language, US, because that's where I am. My version is AMD 64-bit. Yeah, I don't want a TPM check, so I'm going to bypass that. I don't need to. The allow Windows to be installed without an internet connection is optional. It doesn't make that much difference whether you check that or not. But I do have an internet connection, so I'm not going to choose that. So I'm going to follow their instructions and deal with that issue later. Yeah, Windows can name the computer for me. That's fine. I don't care. Don't use Compact OS. I'm going to set my time zone. I am in Central Time. Where is it? Where's Central Time? There it is. Central Time, US and Canada. Where is it? I missed it. There it is. Central Time, US and Canada. I'm going to let Windows partition the thing because I don't want to fool with it. So yeah, I want a GPT. I want a bigger ESP partition, the boot partition. I'm going to set it to 500 megabytes. That's probably overkill, but that's what I'm going to do. 300 is probably fine. I do want a recovery partition. I'm going to set it to 1024 because that's what Cyber CPU Tech recommended in his video. So that's why I did that. I don't know what these other things are. I'm not going to use them. Yeah, a generic product key is fine. I'll activate my. I got a Windows 10 key. I'll activate my Windows 11 later. Windows 11 Pro. I don't really want a user account. I tend to run as root anyway. I know it's a bad habit, but that's just what I do. So I'll use that name and that password. And then, yeah, log on to the first administrator account created above. Just use that. Passwords don't expire. That's fine. Account lockout policy default is fine. I don't care. File Explorer, yeah, default settings is cool. I do like to see my file extensions, so I'm going to check that. Yeah, I want to go back to the old context menu. I don't like the new one on 11. Open it to this PC and then show the end task command in the command bar. The default taskbar is fine. Default icons are okay. Disable widgets, I hate them. Left align the taskbar. Yeah, I hate the start button being in the middle. I want it in the left-hand corner where it belongs. I don't know. That's not that important. I don't care. Do not show Bing results. I hate Bing and I don't use it. This is for Windows 10, so I can skip it. Windows 11, remove all pins because I don't like all the clutter. Disable Windows Update. That's temporary. You can change it later. I'm going to disable fast startup because I like to dual boot, and fast startup can interfere with that. Yeah, enable long path names. That's fine. Prevent Windows Update from rebooting your computer. Yeah, I like to be more hands-on with my update process. I don't want my session to be hijacked. So, and those are changeable. Turn off system sounds. I don't need a bunch of noise. Disable app suggestions, please. I hate to be bugged by all that crap. Prevent device encryption. Hell yeah, I will decide if I want to encrypt my device. I don't want Microsoft to do that for me. Hide Edge first run experience. I don't even use Edge. Disable Edge startup boost and background mode. Hell yeah. Make Edge uninstallable. Oh, please, yes, I do that because that's one of my first things is to get rid of Edge. Yeah, I don't care about visual effects. Default icons are fine. I don't care. Folders on start. I just leave it like it is. No, I'm not going to install VirtualBox on it. What else do we have? Disable all. Yeah, I'll disable all the spyware. Sticky keys, I don't care. The default setting is fine. Default color scheme is okay. I don't care. Default wallpaper. Yeah, lock screen is fine. This. All the frickin' bloatware. So yeah, I'll select all. And there's a few of these I'm going to use, though, that I kind of like. No, I definitely don't want OneDrive. I hate OneDrive. Photos, sometimes I use that. Snipping tool, yeah, that's handy. I'm going to keep it. WordPad, no. Xbox, hell no. Windows Media Player, I still use that. Solitaire, why not? Recall, hell no. Paint, yep, I still use it. I don't need news. Handwriting spyware. Bing search, hell no. Calculator, I use the Windows calculator. Copilot sucks, I'm not going to use that. Feedback hub, no thank you. Notepad, I still use it. PowerShell, sure. Why not? I don't want all this clutter, so no, I'm not going to use any of that stuff. Yeah, sure, Windows Terminal, why not? Is there anything else I want? No, I guess not. So that's all I'm going to keep. Most of this stuff I'm throwing away because it's annoying and it's spyware and it's clutter. I don't want it. So it's nice to be able to just, clean up some of that. Anything else? I guess not. So then you download it and save it as XML. I'm just going to save it on my machine. Save. Oh, there it goes. And get out of the website. So I've already got Windows 11 on a stick, on a USB media, but I need to modify it. I need to add my auto unattend script. So let me go find my script. I'm going to check my downloads. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. There it is, auto unattend.xml. And all you do is copy this and paste it into the root of your Windows 11 media. There it is, autoattend.xml. So that's it. That's how you modify your installation media. So here's my Windows 11 installation media with the auto unattend script on it. This is a Lenovo IdeaPad, a cheap computer. I think it actually does meet the Windows 11 hardware requirements, but I don't care. I'm going to bypass the hardware check anyway. And I gotta hit the F12 key repeatedly to get it to the boot manager. Now you got to be careful with this thing because with the auto unattend script, when you select the boot device like I just did, it starts installing right then. There's no second chance. It just takes off. So make sure you really want to install Windows because it's going to wipe your disk. And if you have more than one disk on the computer, I don't know which one it's going to wipe. It's going to wipe whichever one it thinks is disk 0. So anyway, be really cautious with this thing and make sure you're ready to start because it'll wipe your files and wipe your hard drive. And it is doing it right now. It just started installing. Notice I did not get a prompt or anything. It was just wham, off to the races. So if there's a downside to the auto attend script, that's it. And here we go. It is starting to install. We're getting a few things ready. All right. Please wait. All right, it has started the installation process. And we're restarting. And then here go the custom actions from our installer script. Hey, splash screen. And there we go. Windows 11 is up and running. Cool. My first time. And there's not a bunch of garbage on here. I like that. All right, now that I have Windows 11 up and running on the IdeaPad, let's do some setup. First things first, Edge has got to go. So let's see if I can really uninstall it. Apparently I can. Normally this is grayed out. in the US, but in the EU, you can uninstall it. So I have EU privileges. Yes, uninstall. Good riddance. I can't stand the Edge browser. Not that it's a bad browser, but just because it's so intrusive and it wants to open my photos and it wants to open my documents and it wants to make itself the default browser. It's just annoying. It's like a gnat. It's like a pest. So I can't, and I know it's full of spyware, so I have to get rid of it. But now I don't have a browser, so how am I going to download a new browser? Well, Windows now has a package manager, kind of like Linux, called WinGet. So I'll just go WinGet search, and I like the Brave browser, so WinGet search Brave. And is it going to find it? Yeah, I agree. Whatever. There we go. I want Brave because I try to avoid anything from the Microsoft Store because I assume Microsoft is spying on me when I use the store. So all you got to do is WinGet install brave.brave or whatever the name of the package is. And you can also copy and paste a package if you don't want to do a lot of typing. So hit enter and it'll install. And you don't need a browser to go out and get another browser. Isn't that cool? So if you didn't know about WinGet, now you've learned something cool. You can install any software with this, and you can also update all your software using WinGet. You can do a mass update of everything you have installed using WinGet. And it frees you up from the Microsoft Store. You don't have to use the Microsoft Store anymore. Cool, huh? And here is LibreWolf. Same process. My second most favorite browser, LibreWolf. So this is how I provision Windows these days. I just use the WinGet package manager. I'll get my own PDF reader since I don't have Edge anymore. I like Foxit Reader. So WinGet install, paste. See how easy that is? There you go. So I have Brave browser. I've got Foxit PDF Reader. I don't see LibreWolf. There it is. Recently added LibreWolf. So I'll put that on my taskbar and on my desktop. All right, YouTube. So that concludes my first ever home install of Windows 11 with the TPM and hardware checkup bypassed, Microsoft account creation bypassed, Edge browser removed, Bitlocker encryption turned off, OneDrive turned off, Recall turned off, Copilot turned off, and a lot of the Windows bloatware just not installed at all. So pretty tidy. In part 2, I'm going to be altering the partitions on this disk so it can dual boot with Linux. So I hope you'll come back for that when that video is ready. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed my video.